Welcome to the A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal podcast, where each week I, Dr. Mal, share life lessons and motivation to kickstart your Monday. Whether you're starting your day or winding down, join me or me and my future guest for a burst of positivity and a fresh perspective. Let's make Mondays meaningful together. Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. I'm just so grateful all the time, but particularly this week, I'm grateful for my business partner, Aisha. Last week, we went to Atlanta for an educator conference and we had the best time. We went to present at the 52nd National Alliance for Black School Educators Conference. And our topic was the sister that grew from suburban soil, which aligns with our business, Bell's Garden. If you haven't been on socials, please go check that out. It's @_Bell's Garden on IG and Bell's Garden on Facebook and LinkedIn. Anyway, our session was incredible and it was well attended. We had a packed room. And from that presentation, I'm grateful to say that we have potential clients that will be seeking our services. So it was just a beautiful time. And even outside of our business dealings together, the more we spoke, the more we realized how similar we are. And we had the opportunity to bond together, which I think is important for anybody working in a collaborative business situation. Prior to us spending this time together in Atlanta, we had not had really much of a chance to connect. We are both busy women, and so a lot of our connection was through a virtual outlet, but I'm grateful to say that we had the most exquisite time, and I love how she works. We both ebb and flow with each other, and our differences are actually what help us work best together. Her brain's like a computer with endless tabs open. Mine is too, but how she functions is she works in a tab, closes it, works in a tab, closes it. My tabs are open all day. So I am actually aspire to work how she works. I'm going to figure it out. And the more I ask questions, the more I'm learning. So anyway, outside of that, as a person, her heart is pure. She genuinely cares for others, and she's incredibly accommodating. And since she lived in ATL before, it was really like having a personal guide to help us navigate the city. So nothing can stop us. We are all the way up. I'm also grateful for breaks because I got to spend time, quality time with the little one I love and who came to this earthly realm and stole my heart, my sweet baby Ray, or my sweet little Ray, who's not so little anymore. That boy is growing exponentially. And his personality is just shining. He, of course, is having some big feelings that we're walking through, but his smile is the most beautiful smile I've ever seen. And his soul is so pure. And he is starting to use his talking device to communicate more. And he's starting to make different sounds because those of you who don't know, he is on the spectrum and he's nonverbal. So well, he's pre-verbal, I should say, because he is so anxious to have a conversation. And so I'm just excited to be along on this journey with him. And I just can't believe that he's going to be 8 this month. I was just in the hospital yelling at the anesthesiologist to get his butt in here so I could not feel the contractions that were coming back to back after this boy dropped. So I just can't believe it. It's actually bonkers. Okay, now you know I love me a good definition, and I'm team #facts over feelings. So let's get to the facts of it. This week I felt really compelled to talk about giving because in the American culture in December, there's a large focus on a lot of holidays because there's many holidays that are celebrated in December, but Christmas is the bigger focal point here in the United States. And not only giving gifts to people that we love, but also being charitable to others that are in need. There are people who are charitable all year round, but for some reason, it jumps up in December. Actually, not for some reason. The statistics show that people are more apt to give in the last quarter of the year because of tax reasons. There's actually a 30% jump in giving during this time than there is at any other part of the year. Here are some other statistics that I was able to find about Christmas and the holidays and giving and spending. So Americans actually spend approximately $1,000 on Christmas each year, and this is per household. And 71% of the US holiday budgets are assigned to gift purchases. So a lot of the money that's being spent is being spent on gifts. 96% of Americans buy gifts for their families. So the other 4%, I'm assuming, are buying gifts for people outside of their families or being charitable. Americans spend well over $200 a year on non-gift items. And I imagine that this might be food because people get together and they celebrate the holidays together. The age group that spends the most during this time are age 45 through 54, which that makes sense because they would be most affluent and able to spend. They're right before their retirement time. So gift cards are the most popular present to receive. Pick me, I'm team gift card all day, every day, because it's just easier that way, just to buy gift cards. I do appreciate a good gift that's thoughtful. I'm just not the thoughtful one. I wish I had that skill, but I love when people are in tune with others and they give them exactly what they need or that they said that they need. That's really cool. 48% of Americans begin Christmas shopping before the end of October. And that's no surprise. I have several friends who either put things in layaway throughout the year or it's like a sport. Shopping, Christmas shopping is like a sport. And so they treat it as such. And it becomes tradition in their families. And more than half, so 63% of Americans shop online for holiday purchases. This was the statistic that blew my mind, not the previous one, but the one I'm about to say. So, when we're talking about statistics, most of the time they are not in the year that we're talking about because it takes research a couple of years to catch up. So, this stat is from 2022, but in 2022, over $936 billion was spent on the Christmas holiday alone. Not million, but billion. And that's just in the United States, which is wild to me. And regarding charity during the holidays, one statistic from a 2024 survey of 2,400 people showed that 40% of Americans give more during the December holiday, like I said before, and with Christmas leading as the most popular time to give. 65.8% of those survey participants preferred to support local causes, which makes sense because charity in your community affects you directly. So I really love that over 65% of people are choosing to give back to their community. And the last stat I'll say from that survey is 43% of survey participants plan to donate less than last year. And if you know, you know, we are all feeling the economic struggles of this time. Everything has skyrocketed in price. So it's a struggle to even maintain everyday life, let alone have something to give for others. And if you're like me, you even struggle with the dollar store not even being the dollar store anymore. It's the $1.25 store. And when you walk in there, a lot of the stuff ain't even $1.25 anymore. It's higher than that. So if you're not feeling it, then you are absolutely blessed. But I'm certainly feeling it. So, anyway, that brings me to the topic of the week. Last week, I talked about grace and gratitude and how they work together. And this week, I'm extending on the gratitude piece to incorporate the joy of giving to others during a time where we focus so heavily on the capitalism of the Christmas holiday. And with this, I think, no, I know the biggest thing I want you to get from this is that giving back doesn't mean that you have to give someone money. There are other valuable ways to show love and care for others. And when you embrace joyful giving, you create ripples of positivity that extend beyond yourself. Gratitude transforms from an inward feeling to an outward expression and helps to shape a world where kindness and connection thrive. So you may be asking yourself, how can I express my gratitude through action? And I'm so glad that you asked the question because I have a whole list of things and a whole list of ways for you to express just that. So it aligns with my call to action this week. And my call to action this week for you is to be a joyful giver and be intentional about giving in all the ways and at all times of the year. But especially this part of the year where, the weather's changing, they have older ideas of the tradition of Christmas or the holidays, and their lives have changed. Maybe they've gotten older, people have started to transition, and nothing is the same. And so we also know that there is a higher amount of depression during this time. I don't have any stats on that, but I know for a fact that people are sad during this time because they miss the days of old. They miss how they used to celebrate this time. And so that's also a part of my list of giving. So here are some ways that you can give back. Number one, share your time. Time is like one of the most precious resources we have. So by simply showing up for others, you demonstrate care and commitment. And ways you can do that is you can volunteer locally. You can dedicate an afternoon to a local shelter, community garden, or library. You could also offer help to your neighbors, shovel a driveway, babysit, or run errands for someone who may need extra assistance. I know that there are people who are sitting in residential facilities and their families may live far away, or their families have transitioned, or they simply don't come and deal with the people that they love in these residential facilities. So also volunteering your time at a residential facility to just be a friend, a listening friend to our elderly seasoned population, I know that means the world to them. You can also offer to mentor someone. Sharing your skills and wisdom about navigating news, careers, education, or life challenges can certainly be important to someone. And don't forget about the babies. I just talked about that seasoned population, but the unseasoned population, the babies, they also need and deserve our mentorship if we're able to give it to them. Second, you can give your attention. In a world full of distractions, your full attention is a powerful gift. So, like I mentioned before, listening actively it can certainly be a gift to someone. Offer a listening ear to a friend or a family member, and sometimes just being present is all someone needs. I'm learning that. Like, I'm the queen of giving advice because sometimes when I think people come to me, they're actually looking for advice. But also, I'm learning that some people just want you to listen to them, they don't want your advice. So, do you know someone who could use your time and attention? And I would suggest that you give it to them. Second, you can connect through conversation. Take time to have meaningful conversations with coworkers, students, and acquaintances. Your attentiveness can brighten their day. And it's not even connect through conversation with words. As a mom of a pre-verbal child, he connects with me all day and he doesn't use one word. So throwing a smile to someone is a connection. It's a conversation that you have with someone, And you just never know the effect of how you show up in a space and how that can help someone. So throw a smile at somebody. And my favorite suggestion, write a note or a letter. Handwritten notes of encouragement or appreciation can uplift spirits and foster deep connection. Like I mentioned in a recent episode, I had teacher colleagues who were intentional about writing handwritten notes, and I've kept every one of them because they meant that much. I also have a huge bin of notes that I received from students over the years that I just, if when I go back and look at them, they just fill me up, and I just love to read them. And so I always have something that students have given me. This is my choir binder that I have for my choir that I direct, and a girl who's no longer my choir designed this for me because she thought that my choir folder and needed something for me to be identified by. And then I get these cute little notes. Yeah, that's something handmade from a student too. So I love, love, love handwritten notes. Another thing you can do is share your skills and talents. Like I mentioned, we all have gifts, we all have talents to share. And I know that that can help to enrich the lives of others. Something simple you can do, cook a meal. Now, disclaimer, I don't eat everything from everybody's kitchen. I used to out of kindness, but in the age of people getting sick from eating in other people's kitchen because they may not be as clean, that certainly can offer a challenge. But there are hungry people. I see it every day when I get on Facebook and I'm in these mom groups, and they, maybe fleeing domestic abuse situations or simply just not able to feed their children. They're like, hey, does anybody have any money to spare so I can give my child some food? But it would mean the world to them if someone was just able to cook a meal, or if that's not your ministry, like me, I am not the cook, or I have a plant-based diet, so people don't always want to eat what I eat. So I'm always the default, bring the water to the cookout. But if this is your ministry and you are a very fabulous cook and you do have a clean kitchen, cook for others. You can also teach a skill. You can teach knitting. Kids love knitting. They love doing things with their hands that don't require technology. And you can share whatever else you know to empower someone else to learn. And then you can create something, make a craft, bake, or provide photography services as a gift of your talents. And number 4, spread kindness in simple ways. The smallest acts of kindness can have the greatest impact. Compliment strangers. I'm team compliments. I do that quite frequently, but I'm serious when I compliment people because I also love to receive compliments. I'm a words of affirmation person. So that certainly can help to turn anybody's day around. And then you can leave positivity behind. I love when people do like chalk, when they write positive messages in chalk on pathways. One day when I was on a trail, there was people that had wrote like all of these beautiful positive messages, and so as I was running, I was able to read it, and that was just something simple that somebody could do, but it certainly brought joy to my day. And then of course, pay it forward, whether it be monetary or just doing something kind for someone, like opening a door, giving up your seat, letting someone get in front of you in a line. Those are all ways to show that you're being kind, and those are ways to pay it forward. Be a community builder. I think, no, not I think, I know that we are going to get to a point in this next year where we start to rely on each other. We've gotten so far away from relying on others and just saying, like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. No, we are not here to do things alone. We are not here to do life alone. So I know that we're going to get to a point where we're going to say, hey, I need my neighbor. Hey, I need my friends. Hey, I need my family. So one thing you can do to promote community strength and togetherness is to organize a donation drive. Help collect clothes, books, or toys for those in need. I have a friend, She's one of my friends who's also a real estate agent. She organizes a sock drive every year locally for our homeless population. That's a real need. And through her sock drive, she's able to provide that for our local homeless community. So organizing a donation drive, it can be small, it can be on a small scale. Plan a group activity, host a book club, a potluck, or a group walk to foster connection among neighbors or friends. Advocate and amplify. This one's most important. This is where I love to use this platform, and I love to use my businesses to support causes that align with my values and bring attention to needs in the community. So my business, Belle's Garden, was created to empower Black girls in suburban spaces because sometimes, just sometimes, they are an invisible population forced to acclimate to their environment. And so instead of being able to authentically express as the beautiful person that they are. And so that is my plight, and that is what I choose to advocate and amplify for. You can choose whatever you wanted to advocate for. And then, of course, foster gratitude in others. Giving can be contagious when you inspire it in others. So, of course, some people are like, some people get lost in the how of things. They know what to do, but then they're like, well, how do I do it? I have this all the time, especially when I'm talking about plant-based dieting. It's like, well, I would like to do that, but I don't know how to do it. So people can say, I like to give, but I don't know how to. So you can be the model. You can share your stories about what you've done to give back to your community, and you can share your stories about just what you're grateful for. So you can help to change someone else's attitude about viewing what it means, or about their views of gratefulness. So some people will choose to complain before they realize that they should be grateful for everything that they currently have. And so you can just model that. I do that all the time. All the time. Encourage reflection. You can ask your loved ones to consider what they're thankful for and how they can express it through giving. And then lastly, we got to teach our babies to give, because they're on the receiving ends a lot. I know my baby, he receives a lot. He's only child too. So there's nobody else for me in my household to give it to, but I've recently included other children in the receiving part, and like their lives are changed because of it. So you can teach the children to give, and you can do that by just giving yourself. Thank you for listening, coming to my TED Talk. To wrap up today's episode, I will leave you with a quote and an affirmation. So today's quote is one of my faves. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And Gandhi said that. And then 10 affirmations about joyful giving and charity. I give freely and generously, knowing that my contributions make a positive impact. With each act of giving, I feel more connected to the abundance of the universe. I love that one. I am a vessel of kindness, spreading love and light through my charitable actions. Giving fills my heart with joy and gratitude, creating ripples of positivity. As I give to others, I create space for more blessings in my life. It's absolutely true. I trust that my actions of charity inspire others to embrace compassion and generosity. My giving comes from a place of love, uplifting both the receiver and myself. I honor the opportunities to support others and contribute to the greater good. Every act of kindness I perform strengthens the bonds of community and humanity. And lastly, but certainly not least, joyful giving aligns me with my highest self and the infinite possibilities of life. Wow, incredible. Well, that's all for me this week. I'm forever honored that you tune in. Thank you so much for listening to my heart, and hopefully, you are able to turn your heart of gratitude into joyful giving. Next week, I'll be speaking about giving your elders their overdue flowers. Tune in to hear my heart about our super seasoned population, and the show is going to be entitled Giving Your Elders Their Flowers. Until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week. Thank you for tuning in for a Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Live Podcast Network website and app, and you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you love to have the visual, you can tune into my YouTube channel, When Mallory Lives, to see this show and catch up on all my shows from the beginning.